Alright. How's everyone doing? Hello. Let's check if the mic is working and everything else is okay. And we can start chatting it up, people. So, how's your day going? We have Elias, Starseed, John, Monica, Simo. Hey everyone, good to see you here. Mic's working, good. Thanks, John. Yeah, doing pretty good, like pretty productive today. Didi, hi there, buddy. Yeah, it's I'm getting like really in the zone. Hyping myself up for the future projects, for possibilities and the things I'm working on. I just like really people I watch, let's say Gary or Markiplier or anyone else, like I get like a lot of inspiration and ideas, and then I'm like spending time, like some people wanted some quality videos, and I literally like I'm writing down the ideas and writing scripts and stuff like that. So I'm planning to give like more quality content, because like right now, like today I spent a lot of time like downloading my past streams and cutting it to the parts. So like, okay, Q&A, just like whatever people ask, I'm gonna cut it so like not everyone joins the stream, so if those that have missed it, they will have the chance to see it, and at the same time it's like more content for my YouTube and stuff. So like I spend a lot of time cutting those things, and as well just like doing some research, like looking up into other ETs out there. Like there's a lot going on, and I just like I'm really excited about possibilities and what can I do for people. So yeah, like I'm hyped. So what about you people? What have you been like doing? Or some of the things you're getting at? Yeah, Monica is saying, like, Will, if you can do scan on that song, that would be great on your free time, something to look into. Thanks. Yeah. Monica, what exactly, like, when you're talking about, like, me scanning into the song, would you like me to look into what kind of vibration it gives off, the world, that sort of, like, for me, a lot of times, like, if I'm hearing something, I will literally plug in and, like, tune in into the world and see there. So, depends on what you want me to focus on when I'm looking into the song. That would be, like, interesting, like, because, like, I'm thinking about like sort of targeting bigger things. As in like I work with like one person at a time, and now I want to pick up let's say on my free time, just do sessions on, let's say, headache or backache or some other stuff, and just like really work on getting it better for humanity. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Okay, so let's see what you people are talking about. Stars is asking about the details on your sessions. there's like lots of entities targeting you. Like depends on how detailed you want. Like I can actually, like, let's say write more in email. That depends on your needs and all. Did I read your articles? No, I did not yet. Simon's asking, when can you expect the answer regarding your session? Well, I read your email, so I can definitely send it off to you. Let's see. Until Sunday, you can expect it like about Sunday or so. Chris asking if I was able to check on you as well. Yeah, Chris. I did some work on you, removing some entities, cutting off some cords that were like messing with you. So if you're feeling some changes, that's good. Stars is asking, like, did your tarot readings help with my projects and ideas? I did not get to that yet. I did not read it yet, so I can't say that it did help. I mean, like, because I didn't read it, Didi is saying, I wanted to apologize if I've been coming across super harshly. Being in the US surrounded by this insanity is very uncomfortable when you're an empath. I hear it, Didi. Like, yeah, for me, like, I might have my own opinion, but I'm not doing that much of a research. I don't live in America. I can't talk for people there. Like, I just sort of like, hey, well, here's a little topic. I read this thing, so I'm just gonna talk about this little thing that I read. I totally understand you and I respect your point of view, and I'm glad you were able to share what you're sharing. I'm really glad. And like, that's the thing about like people, like a lot of times, like, even if we have different opinions, people like usually attack each other for that. I'm really glad you have different opinion, and I respect that. And it's all about sort of like communication and talking about it, and like I just get the better understanding of who you are and what you're thinking about and stuff like that. So that's good. Hey Don, good to see you here, buddy. What did I do with my last OBE? I had a few, like, it's been a really long time since I had this sort of like chill time in OBEs, because usually I go and I work my ass off. But I was fishing. I was fishing, and it's like sort of like catching fish with my bare hands, and sort of like they're big, like, like with all the details. So it's more like just catching them, looking at the fishes, and then like, oh cool, nice, and there you go, next, So that was like, like just a recent one in the morning. But other than that, there's a lot of explorations. Like, I'm meeting more people who were involved in the secret space program, 20 and backs and stuff like that. The whole part with beings who live beyond space and time, beings who are, I'm not sure like how many of you have seen anime Naruto, but I was amazed that like the whole time, I haven't seen the series that much, but if you know about Itachi, like there's this character, I might like show it to you. Just Itachi. Hey, there's this guy. Let's see if I can pull it up for you people. Yep. Yeah. So from Naruto, there's this guy like Itachi, so you can look him up. Not much to talk about it, but it's really interesting context, because like he has this special eye, like Mangekyo Sharingan, like, so it gives him ability to mess with people, and one of those abilities is actually stop time and space for a person, like in the present time. and actually take the person and take him to his own reality. And in that reality, he can actually torture people. For example, have 1,000 days or years pass with just like repetitive action of torturing someone or killing you, and you're gonna feel the pain. Just like, you're sort of stuck in this world, and he's gonna stab you, and like you just like sort of experience the bleeding for hours, and boom, another day, and you live like that for years. And so the person who's been suffering for thousands of years opens his eyes, and in the real world he just blinked. In this whole period of time of suffering for thousands of years in that world, like he just blinked here in the present, and like, whoa, like it just feels this massive pain. So it's like really interesting, because like I watched anime when I was a kid, and I never connected the dots until like the recent sessions, because like I'm seeing beings who live beyond space and time. They're protecting timelines and sin, like not allowing beings to be selfish. Like if a certain group or certain beings would like try to mess with timelines and change things for their own, like like, oh, I'm gonna be a rich person, I'm gonna be in control of everyone or stuff like that. If anyone is selfish, there are groups that do not allow these things. And so this group can sort of like take your consciousness or take you to their space, to their realm, and they can literally torture you for years and then put you back. And for you, in that moment, just like 1 second passed or you just blinked, but the suffering lasted for a very long time, and it's like super torturous. So like once you experience it, once you're like, holy cow, like no, I like, like, so you basically back off right away. So meeting these beings, I was able sort of like finally to connect the dots of like what's out there, what to expect, and just like seeing more beings out there, like like really sort of getting more like how should I say, like information or knowledge about what to expect. And I don't know, like for me it's amazing. It's always amazing to find something new and just like better understanding and like how things work. So that's cool. Okay, Alex Malcolm is asking, hey Kvita, I have a question in regards of getting soul parts back. How would you recommend doing it if parts are hidden in soul traps? So, if you have another part of you, let's say, stuck in the soul trap, or like basically sort of like someone else is hiding it and you have no idea about it, usually our soul parts, or like what you're looking for, what you're trying to get back, will have some sort of emotion or feeling state or personality. So when you're focusing on it, like it doesn't matter where they are, if they're in another planet, if they're doing great, or if they are simply stuck in some space being tortured or whatever is going on in their world. Anything can happen. When you're focusing on the other aspect of you, it really depends on what you want to get in your space. So you're focusing more on emotion or feeling or personality that you want to get rather than the aspect itself. And it's more like we have to be aware that like when we're trying to get those beings into our space, or like like sort of like get them back, there's a few ways to do it. One is you literally take another part of you that is having another life and you pull it out, like you pull out of his life, his or life, and you end off all of their adventures and bring them back to you and sort of like merge them with you. With that, we have to keep in mind that those parts of us might not be happy. Because it's like some of us don't want to be here on Earth. We're feeling like, oh, we're stuck. I don't like this place. I just want to be out. Other parts of us will feel the same way. They never wanted to come here on Earth. Or they came and they saw how bad it is and they leave for certain reasons. Some of them, not everyone, but if we're trying to bring them back by force, some of them will be like, no, I don't like it here, and they will sort of reject and try to go away. So instead of trying to sort of like have those parts merge with you, what you can do is simply think of the Matrix movie, Neo, and specifically the scene where he is downloading the information about martial arts. He literally like has this thing like plugged in, he downloads the information, and next thing you know, he has those abilities. We can do the same thing. We can do the same thing by, okay, so if I feel like in my life I don't have that much control, or like this part of me is missing, like for you, Alex, like like there's this like heart center, you're feeling that disconnected, and you have this like loss of your like true self, or like that part of you. So for you have to describe like what is that heart center, how do you feel about it, what kind of personality does it give to you, what do you get when you are connected to it. And now when you describe it precisely about like what is it, how does it feel, the personality that you would get if you would have it, like have the connection, And so now when you know sort of specifically what you would get, you simply focus on those parts of, okay, so this is the personality, this is how I would feel, this is how I would act. Once you focus on it, you are starting to locate another aspect of you, no matter where it is, to sort of, okay, this is another part of me that has exactly what I want and need. Now, some people can visualize it, some people are not so good at it, so if you cannot visualize that part of you and connecting it and sort of like allowing yourself to copy paste the information or simply download it, the other part is for you to talk to yourself. This is another part of you that has your wanted personality, your wanted abilities, feeling states. Once you look at it and sort of like think about like, okay, I sort of like have the idea of another part of me that has this confidence, that is successful, that is making permanent changes in life, and like I don't see like where in life I would do something and it's undone and it's like constantly being stuck in one place. So like, you're looking for something that would help you to connect to your heart center or something else, like specifically for you, Alex, but some people might like sort of like look at what is it that you're missing in life or would like to have, and then you sort of name it specifically, like, like more confidence, more like happiness, the better feeling states, more sort of like confront and stuff like that. It's like really depends on what you want. But now once you're specific, you can simply like imagine or like think that like, okay, this is another part of me that has it, and you're like, hi, this part of me that has the confidence and is feeling great and blah blah blah, and you name it. So you are addressing, like sort of putting a label like on that aspect, but for yourself, for your own clearance and stuff. And now once you have the better idea, you can sort of like ask like, hey, I'm here on Earth and I feel like I don't have these parts of me, like I'm lost, and it would really help me if you would sort of like allow me to sort of download information, abilities, knowledge, and sort of like have the copy paste information from that part of you here. The part of you is not gonna lose anything, it's simply just gonna give you that information. And so you literally can talk to your other part of here and ask for that information and sort of like even think about it coming up, so you can sort of like imagine there's just like a slow energy coming to you and filling you up, and you're sort of like trying to like, the whole process is like, as you see yourself, like your body, you're trying to imagine that this other aspect of you is like the energy form and you're merging it with yourself. It's not like getting your other aspect, but more like information, so that you would sort of either see it or have an idea of what it's like. You sort of like merged within yourself, and now once you did the process, you try living it as if you had those parts. It's part of like law of attraction and manifestation, where you're like, okay, if I want to be confident, I have to live as if I was confident. And what would a confident person do? Well, a confident person would do this, and you start sort of like living like that. So it's kind of like fake it till you make it. But the thing is, it's more like we're expecting that like, oh, we're just gonna sort of like download information and our life forever changed. But we're not sort of like giving ourselves that time where like, hey, now that you have this ability, you have to start acting like it. You sort of have to use it, because we're used to this feeling state or personality where we're not doing it. We're like, okay, we have these abilities, we have like what we are and stuff like that, and we're like, yeah, like I just got tons of confidence, but I'm still gonna act like I'm used to, like this is my comfort zone where I'm not gonna go and talk to people or stuff like that. So like if you just got the confident part of yourself, and more like, okay, now that I have the confident part, I'm gonna act and do stuff with it. And so you sort of like, you just learned something, now it's time to use it in your everyday life, to sort of like put it in use and like get something out of it. So that'd be the way. If another part of you, like just sort of in general, if another part of you is stuck somewhere and you're like feeling like you just can't connect, you can't get anywhere, before you're trying to get something from that part of you that might be stuck in soul traps or somewhere else, you're like, okay, I have an idea or a feeling state that there's this part of me out there in the multiverse and it's stuck in some soul trap. So what you imagine is literally taking apart the whole soul trap, like destroying it, uncreating it, and making sure that your other part and everyone else who was trapped gets free. All of the energy drained gets back to them, sort of refills everyone that was sort of a victim of it. And now you literally either imagine the whole process, sort of visualize it, or simply think about it. It does not matter, because it's gonna work one way or another. So once you do the whole thing, you are freeing your other self from the soul trap or some other stuff. Like, so for example, if it's not the soul trap, you might be messed with by the entities or some other beings, you might be attacked, your other aspect, like, is going through stuff. So it's simply like, okay, if my other aspect is going through some trouble, before getting help or getting anything out of it, I'm gonna help other part of myself. So one is you're helping yourself universally, like throughout the multiverse, but at the same time, once you secure yourself, then you can think about like, okay, what does this aspect have and what can I get out of it? So once you help, you can actually ask for something back. And it's always like a really good thing to even like offer help or something before you get anything. So for example, when you think about connecting to your other aspects or getting some information, some abilities, some personalities, you're like, okay, here's this part of me that like has the confidence, that has this courage and luck and like really good health and stuff. I want to get those parts, but before I do that, I'm gonna communicate to myself, like, the part of me that is really confident. Is there anything I can do for you? Like, would you like me to share my knowledge or something like that? And simply, you're not gonna feel the change. But it's more like you are allowing the other part of you to connect to you, and literally everything you sort of know from this life, everything that you lived, the other part of you will download information, and now it's gonna have knowledge about Earth, knowledge about everything that you experience here. And it's gonna be clear, and the other part of you like, oh, okay, now I understand things better. And with your knowledge is giving you stuff. So it's kind of like exchange of energy a little bit, but you're not gonna feel that many changes when you're getting anything. It's more like just like you're sort of like just like copy paste. It's like not even noticing anything. But when you get it back, you sort of have to act like it, because we're used to getting things, but it's sort of like in the background, and we're not using it. We have to literally like access those things and like, okay, I have it. I have the part of me, now I have to use it. Now I have to put it in use and practice and try doing something with it. So, like just because we get those parts back and we're not using it, it's like, so you literally have to put some work. It's not just like, okay, just like think about it and you're gonna get this feeling state, yay, and now my life is different. You really have to work it. So that would be my answer, Alex. Like the biggest part is like, if you're noticing that like other part of you is stuck somewhere, you can visualize the process of literally destroying the soul trap, and you have the powers of each and every one of you. If you think that there's another part of you out there in the multiverse that is stuck or going through some problems, your godlike being, whatever you visualize, whatever you think of, all of your intentions will work. So, feel free to help other parts of yourself, because if you help yourself out there, it's sort of like disconnecting you from different chains, and it's sort of the bleacher effect doesn't work, and, you're gonna be less fucked up here. So that would be my answer. Yeah, what else do we have? Okay, Starseed is saying, why I can't see my actual family on the astral. Maybe I can with their sleeping bodies, but their spirits go elsewhere in their own real-time space. Maybe I'm not in their real realm because of this. Yeah, Starseed, like, it really depends. For example, when you're doing astral projection, getting out of body and stuff, you're having a whole different vibration and frequency than your relatives. So for example, you can like literally like focus and meditate and do other things, and you're gonna get out and be free, like, hey, finally you have the abilities and stuff. But your parents or relatives who you're thinking about and stuff, they're just gonna have their own vibration. They might not be connected. They even might astral realms, I don't know about it, doesn't exist in my world. So they depends on their own belief systems, because they might really sort of like plug out and sort of like really not think about it, just sort of like straight view and not open up to this. There's that. There's also a part like, like for example, when you pull people out of body, you're like, hey, finally pulled you out, and the person gets so excited that their vibration changes, and boom, you bump into different spaces, and now you have to find each other by the frequency and stuff. So it's possible, for example, you get out and all of a sudden you're feeling better because the case that was affecting you here on Earth is not affecting you there anymore, and all of a sudden you're freer from that, so you jump into different realities, different realms, and like to locate them, it's difficult to actually track specifically, sort of like connecting to Earth, and specifically this timeline, this edition, this space and time, because you can simply sort of have different idea, different feeling state, and jump somewhere else, and you're sort of like looking for your relatives, and they're gonna be there, but it's gonna be a whole different version from them. So, really depends. Diddy saying like to my last comments regarding me talking about politics and stuff, and him commenting differently. So he's basically saying like totally like I just know that I'm often misunderstood for being an asshole when I'm not intending for my words to be read that way. And that's the thing, like a lot of times, you know, we look at subjects and we have our own feeling states about things, and we try to express ourselves, but like, for example, you know, like a DD or some people might have lived here longer. You might have lived longer, you have more experience, you did your own research, so you know what's going on. But basically, this is your own belief system, right? And so, what you know, I might not know. What I know, you might not know. And like, different people have their own research, their own beliefs. And when we share it, like, it might not match. Or like, you're like, hey, you've lived it, you've done so much research, and then you're like talking about it, and other people like are not there yet, and they're not catching up. So when you're trying to like give that information, you know, you're trying to give the facts and like portray everything else and stuff, and people just don't connect. And you know, it might piss you off, or more like, you know, you're just trying to do your best to have people look at things differently, and even then they're like, nah, like they start thinking about you bad. So like it does happen to a lot of people. And like, what I appreciate is that each and every one of you, you're coming here and you're being yourself with me. Like, I'm really happy about it. Like, I'm happy that some of you watch my content and you don't agree with what I say, and I'm happy about it. You're her. All right, good. Now I know. So like, some of you just come here and, you know, you might not agree with what I say. You might have completely different opinion, and you know, it's so good. Like, cause I'm glad that like, hey, if everyone on Earth was like me, I would not get better. It might be like fun for like short period of time, like, hey, sort of I can tune into the same people and stuff. But at the same time, it's like I like people being different, because this is the way where I can learn and get better and sort of confront things that I might not be good at. For example, like being able to listen to what you have to say, and at the same time agree that my opinion is different, but not try to shove my opinion in your mouth, like, hey, believe what I have to say. Like, no. I'm really glad that you people have your own opinion, your own thoughts, that we don't agree on stuff, and I respect that. And so for me, like, it doesn't matter if you come out and, you know, whatever you have to say, for some might look like you're an asshole, for others might look like, hey, real smart person here. For me, I'm just glad people are sharing their thoughts, and so like that's cool. And that's like one of the issues today in the world, is that people have a hard time accepting each other, accepting the differences, and sort of like everyone has to be the same way, everyone has to have the same beliefs and stuff like that. And like, when you find someone who's a bit different, all of a sudden people are and the fighting, and it's really sort of harsh that people just can't agree that they're a little bit different, and that's okay, you know. So there's that. Starseed is saying, when we are dreaming and are in the unconscious mode, do we get possessed, and that's why we can't control what we say and think at the time, or what is it? Does REM sleep for being more aware matter or not? Yeah, basically, like, you know, like when you're in a dream state and you're not that conscious, it's literally like lack of awareness. So you tune in and you're more of a spectator from within, and you're not in control. You're not possessed or anything, and it's totally fine. It's just that like you're not the main character here. It's like it's as if you had your other part playing on automatic, and there's another part of you living and doing things. But at the same time, once you become aware, like, hey, I'm dreaming, boom, all of a sudden you have the controls, and now you are in control of yourself and you can do everything. But before that, before you realize that you're in a dream, you're not even there. Like, you're like, do, and you're just like on automatic, because you blend in, and for you, it's like as if this life, what we're experiencing here, is a dream. And every time we dream here, we actually go to real lives. And for us, like, yeah, it's just a life, like, no one cares, you know, like, you just like sort of like some people don't even try to remember their dreams, you know. So like, it might just be like and gone, and it goes away. So like it's totally okay to not be in control. You're not possessed. If you are thinking that you are possessed, you are more like inviting the possibilities and beings that could actually mess with you in that way. There are parts when, let's say, we are in dream states, and where we are, the whole construct of a dream is more controlled. It's more like affected by the third party, and they're running the controls, and you're basically like the mouse in the trap, just going through the maze and seeing what's gonna happen, and you don't know yet. And you're just going like, oh, the corridor leads here, and you're sort of like going with the flow, just like plugging yourself into the story, just like seeing what happens. So having the awareness is a big part of it. REM, partly yes, partly no. It's more like how aware you are in your daily life. How do you pay attention to the details? For example, people here, once you start keeping your dream journal, which is really important, you start paying attention to details. You start paying details to like what's going on in your environment, like what's happening and stuff like that. And once that happens, like for example, you wake up from the dream and you remember more details, more things that happened, and now you're like writing it down. You're just like, oh, and there was this like yellow house and like this red roof and stuff like that, and you're just like sort of like trying to get as many details as possible. Next time you dream, you are becoming more aware because you're teaching yourself to pay attention. Once you're paying attention, you're waking up more and you get in control of your dream state. So like that's something to keep in mind. Sort of like smallest things will literally give you most results. And before we get back to more sessions, we have more people tuning in. We have Dirk and Anthony and Christopher, Crypto Quantum, Jonas, we have Stan, Marcelo, Positive Virtues, Sage. There's more. Yeah, it's so awesome. Like everyone, I really appreciate you just like tuning in and just being here with me and talking it up. That's means a lot to me. Christopher is saying humans is the only race that treat each other badly. It would be so cool if it was true. I would really love for this thing to be true, but it's like going out of body. You have different groups out there that have different opinions and don't really accept each other. So there's plenty of worlds out there that do have fights in between, that do have like, you know, like, hey, I want to be in control, I want to have more, you know, like stuff, or to be at the top and stuff. So it does happen. There are plenty of races and worlds where people are not that good to each other. It might not go that bad as in humanity, but there's definitely worlds where it's kind of like the same level. Okay, so John Weiss is asking, what is your explanation of why there is delay in manifestation in this universe from what you see in your own universe? For me, it's like completely different worlds. Like this universe, this physical universe where we are right here, right now. That's cool. But we also have our own universe where, you know, it's my world, my reality. Where it might be same kind of world, for example, like planet Earth or something, but at the same time, now you are in control. So over here in the physical universe, like where we are right now, it's a bit harder because it's more of a collective creation. It's not just you and me, but there's like 7 billion people, and there's also beings from afar sort of affecting us all the time. When I'm in my own reality, it's easy to manifest things because I am in control. And it's just me creating things. And I can add other people and invite them there, but still I give myself the role of an admin, and I can always change it up. When you come in here, there's like 7 billion admins, and not all of them agree to each other. And, you know, some of them see the whole world differently. So part of it because it's more of a collective creation and people don't agree with each other, but at the same time, we are used and sort of programmed by this world that we're trying to manifest things. We're trying to sort of, you know, like law of attraction or other things, or you like think positively and bring it back forth to have these things happening. And you're working really hard, but at the same time, you live your life for 20, 30, 40, 50, or however long you are here on Earth, each and every one of you. And we've been through stuff where we're trying to create something, and deep inside we know it's not gonna work. Like some people buy the lottery ticket, like, hey, I want to win. But they know that 200 times they bought a ticket, they did not win. And so failure and everything that happens builds up. So we have tons of events where we're trying to do something in life and it just does not go the way we want or plan or think it's gonna go. So deep inside we have this basic fundamental understanding of how this world works and what you've been through, and you sort of program yourself with that. When you're trying to manifest something in your world, it's working, but from your own universe you're trying to manifest things here, and over here in the physical, you know that every time you try to get out of body, it didn't really work. Every time you try to get better, there are things that got in the way. And there's tons of examples in the background that you might not be aware of or think of it right now, but it's lurking there. And it's like, hey, it's not gonna work. So this smallest doubt in the background will sort of destroy your whole process. And the biggest thing we have to learn as people here is to quiet our mind, is to shut off the whole mechanism, because our body, our whole life, we've been here for like a long time. Everything that happened is sort of written as in a memory. And now your body remembers what it feels like when certain things happen. You know how you're gonna react, how are things gonna go, the surroundings, the people, how you're gonna feel and all this stuff. And there's tons of things that if this happens then. And it's constant programming in the background. And when you're trying to do something in life, you're like, oh, this time I'm gonna work out, this time I'm not gonna fall off the schedule. And you do stuff, and eventually you're like, just once, you don't do things as planned, and next day, and less and less and less, it's like it so easily falls off. So because things like that happen too often, it's ingrained in us. It's kind of ingrained where we know that no matter what we do, it's just not gonna work. So we literally have to start living in a way where forget this physical body and how you've been feeling your whole life. Everything that you know is good, but at the same time it's damaging, because what you know and what you want with the unknown are two different worlds. And when you're trying to manifest something, you're trying to manifest it from the world that you know, from the world that you sort of know how it feels if you were to get out of body, but you've never been out of body. And so you literally have to start feeling what would you feel like if you were to get out of body. It's going to be a complete different feeling state. If you were to manifest things that you want to bring to here in this physical universe, you literally have to live and feel and think as if you already have achieved it, and it's going to be completely different being state, completely different John West and Akveda and someone else. And these two beings, right now, I live in this physical body, my name is Akveda and stuff like that, and this Akveda that is trying to manifest something new will be completely different versions. Because this one, the new version that is trying to manifest something, will never think about, oh, I failed, oh, it did not work, oh, I don't feel like it, and stuff like that. So you literally have to feel something new. And you have to make it up. It's literally make shit up. Okay, if you were to get out of body, what would it feel like? And you've never felt that freedom. You've never felt that god damn, I am so freaking free, and you get super excited, you get sort of emotional because your case is out there, and it just, wow. But in this life, you've never experienced that feeling state. So you have to make it up. Imagine as if. And once you start living in this new feeling state where you're trying to manifest it, but you're feeling things that you have never felt before, and you're sort of building it up, a progress, you're able to now put it more into a faster process. Because here we're stuck with those feeling states. We're trying to manifest something, we're trying to make something happen, but the feelings from the past, you just know it's not going to work. It's really hard, and sort of we're experiencing everything and creating everything from the known, and we have to move to the unknown, to the whole new level where I don't know what it's going to feel like to be in that full love, or being, let's say, out of body, or being free and stuff like that. Something that you want to manifest, maybe having a partner in your life, someone you love, and that person is going to be close to you, understand you, and love you, and you've never had that experience here in this life. It's like you might have tried, and it's kind of close, but it's still not there, and you literally have to sort of meditate and just be in a position from the beginning until the very end to build up the whole process to manifest that stuff. So there's a lot to it. There's a lot to it, and like hopefully, I feel like the whole delay is just because of our experience here in the physical. And if you want to affect it, you literally have to live in a whole different like state where stuff that you want to manifest you have not experienced it, and that's difficult, but you can totally do it. So that would be my answer. It's I don't know, like it's kind of difficult to explain in words. So yeah, hopefully you get my idea. They're just asking, what game is this? It's the game of escaping the fucking Matrix, I guess. Which sort of brings up my attention. Am I streaming in the gaming section? What's going on? Have to check if my stream stats are okay or not. People on logs, okay, yeah, so it's not really there. All good though. Okay, Didi is asking, how can astral abductions during sleep that wipe all memory of dream time be stopped? So how can these abductions during sleep be stopped? Okay, you would have to look into, or try to look into, who's abducting you. Like, you could question yourself, like, deep inside within, each and every one of you has this little lie detector. So you might ask yourself, okay, like, is this Grace? Is this reptilians? Is this humans? And you're asking these questions to yourself, but you're not gonna feel any reads until you're like, is it like AI? And you start feeling this like, yeah, it sort of like sounds about right. So deep inside, once you start asking yourself questions, for example, who's doing that, when are they doing it, how are they doing it, and stuff like that, like you can literally ask yourself questions, and the answers that are coming up, you're gonna feel where it's true or not, something that you're relating to more, something that sounds more familiar, that would be something to focus on. So like one thing, if you can, is to try going deep within, because deep within you have like all the questions are coming from the same place where you have all the answers, you know. So like you have all the answers already, and it's just like sort of like maybe not having the access to it or not knowing that you can access it, but literally you sort of like just look within, and each and every one of you can find out. That being said, if you can find information that way, just by asking questions, that would be great. If you cannot, if you're like asking questions and not getting any reads and like feels like, like I'm just not getting anywhere with this stuff like that. So you're focusing, okay, I'm being abducted during sleep. Some of the things I used to do in the past is I was sort of like, okay, I think about this being as someone who's gonna protect me. And so like in my bedroom or in my house, where you're sleeping, for example, so your bedroom, and then you might have like 4 corners of the walls, right? In each corner you're placing a guardian that you're gonna create, and this guardian can look like however. It can be a puppy, it can be a humanoid, it can be someone else, someone that you might see in movies, someone that you admire, and basically once you're creating this guardian, you're giving the details. Do not allow anyone to abduct me, protect me from entities, clean the whole space, make sure that only I can be here in this space and no one else. And so these beings will be your guardians, and you can place them in your bedroom, in your whole house, around your house, in your neighborhood, in your city, and you're just creating like these like a whole massive army is gonna be there for you. And once you have them, you give them a command to protect you from like abductions. And these beings, for example, when there's a group that wants to affect you and abduct you, these guys will go after them. And in the astral, there might be fights and stuff, but these beings will protect you and try to keep you safe. So that's like one thing, like creating beings that will protect you and your guardians, stuff like that. That would be one thing. I think like visualizations, if you can visualize and sort of like, okay, I sort of get an idea of the spaceship attacking me and stuff like that. So you just put an intention either to destroy them, uncreate them, like protect yourself and stuff like that. That would be like another way. Also, what you could do is, like if you're meditating and stuff, you can create this energy shield around yourself, but sort of like put this program to deflect. Like every time someone tries to abduct you or take your energy and stuff like that, like it depends on the scenario, but each and every one of you can sort of like adjust it to your own needs, but sort of like deflect that coming in attack. So if they're trying to abduct you, you're gonna suck them up into this black hole and destroy them, for example. And so like the different scenarios, but you're basically deflecting the attack, making sure that they cannot take you. So that'd be another way to do it. One thing, I had a person that's been really mess at night a lot. What he started doing, like he was like literally, he had incubus, succubus thing, he had abductions, he had his things in the room moving. What he did is turned on the camera and started filming 24/7. So basically he had the camera in his room and started filming himself sleep. Once you're starting filming, these guys know that like, oh shit, if we get seen, we're gonna get fucked, so they know that like to not better do it. So what you can try to do is if you have space and like memory and everything else, you set up the camera and try to plug it in. Like every time you go to sleep, you turn on the camera, and during like after you're done, try to go to the material like through the video and see if you see anything paranormal and sort of like keep track, because these beings don't want to be noticed. And if there's the camera, they're sort of like, it's against the rules for them to interact and sort of like get the attention. So they might not try to mess with you that way. So that would be something to try out as well. Of course, they can affect the electronics for sure, but I know that like a few people, specifically one that was like real target of the abductions, once he started filming himself sleep, everything stopped. So that might be something to try out. Anthony Jones is saying, "What if I told you I have an evil, a darkness that resides in me, but I hate the evil that runs the earth. So evil doesn't work together. It's not black and white." Each and every one of us have these aspects of like good and bad. It's kind of like duality terms, but like you might be a really good version of yourself. You might find your paths where you're a healer, you're helping out people, but there's plenty of lifetimes for all of us where we are dark. We're doing dark shit. We're killing people. We're engaged in wars or torture or something else like that. Each and every one of us have this darker part within, and it's good. It's okay to have both. You don't feel like, oh shit, like some people see what the politicians and other people do, and it pisses them off. And they want to be assassins and they want to just kill them off because they know like, hey, like you fight fire with fire and stuff like that. So like some people would love to just go and kill off everyone else and just like really try to reach some justice and stuff. So like we're trying to like logically and stuff like that, like to justify these things, but having this, like feel like like you have anger for some people, you're having the hate. It's okay. It's normal. It's part of us. So that's all valid. This is like it's not black and white. Like there's totally more colors to it. Christopher is asking, Aquila, where do you think God is and who created the God? So regarding the, where do you think God is? Just, look at yourself in the mirror and you're gonna see him or her. And, yeah, who is and where? It's it's you. You are the God. So, my point of views are different, but basically consciousness. Consciousness is what we think of a God. And from then on, the whole creation manifestations things is all there. So I would not try to put it's Jesus or it's some Malach or some other beings. No, it's each and every one of us, simply consciousness. So who is it? Where is it? How does it look like? Doesn't have any. Crypto Quantum saying, "Hey Aquila, I love you. I love you back." I really appreciate all the support you people give me. Positive versus saying, you're like a god, so can you make a tutorial how to be a good god? Like 101 how to be a good god. There we go. That's a good video idea. I'm gonna save it up, mate. That's a good one. I have this like list, like every time people are sharing some of the questions, topics and stuff like that, I copy and keep the whole list of what to make videos about in the future. Marcelo is asking which race control Earth, like Anunnaki, reptilians, Syrians, etc. Yeah, regarding the who controls Earth, there is no one ruler. Like, what we see here in life, like let's say with politicians and like different groups, there are tons of different factions. Reptilians have their own agenda. There's Anunnaki, Anunnaki reptilians, Anunnaki humans, Anunnaki canine, and just plenty of beings with their own interests. So it's more like tons of different factions having a little bit to do here and there. And to say one being, I would go like really off, because like it's not like that. There's plenty of people interested, and it's like people fighting in between with each other. But there's tons of factions that want to control humanity, yet each of these factions, they don't really agree with each other. So like while they have similar goals, they're like not liking each other. So they too have some fights. You know, like for example, people look at Biden and Trump, and you're like, okay, we know that behind them there's like more people there upstairs, and behind them it's like even more, and so you just keep on going, and lots of different factions connected. So like to say that there's just one, like, oh, it's reptilians, there's more than that. So like what you mentioned, it's all same and more. Okay, so just asking, if you see a person, friend, family member in a dream state, does that mean that both souls are meeting in the astral realm? That would be like, yeah, if you know that like who you are seeing are exactly like the real and not the fake version, so like it's not an entity or not someone else sort of shape-shifting and projecting that to you. If you know like, oh, it's original, yeah. So from then on, it's basically, yeah, you are meeting another part of that person. For example, let's say you are seeing your mom, your friend, or someone else, and while they themselves might not really get out, or maybe they get out and they have no memory or they don't really remember the experience, you do see them in the astral. While it might be their physical that goes in the astral, there also might be their another part going there. So you either are meeting other parts of people that you know that look similar, or simply the person that is like here in the world, you meet them in the astral, the dream state, but at the same time, you know, like they might not be aware of the experiences themselves. Okay, so John West is asking, my current focus is creating a strong, loving relationship. Any suggestions that you could provide for me on this subject? I have been putting quite a lot of bit of effort with the tools you provided. Yeah, so when it comes to having a strong relationship, I would say you really have to go all out. And you might know the person that you have the interest in, or you might not. You're more like, hey, I want to have a loving, strong relationship, but I have no idea who that person is yet. So I feel like where it's best to start is to literally take a few sheets of paper, or do it on your computer, do it on your phone, like depends where you have the comfort, and literally list everything out that you would like in the person, you would not like. For example, oh well, if it's a girl, she might have short hair, long hair, which color, the eyes, the perfection, and so like every single detail, the looks, the character, the behavior, and stuff like that. You just basically list out absolutely everything you can think of. If it was like a strong loving relationship, what would you like that person to be like? Every single aspect that you can think of. Like for example, in detail, her character, his or her character, like how she or he acts in certain situations, where you two would go, the perfect sort of like interests and common things and like sort of differences and stuff like that. And then once you list out everything that's positive, you also list out everything that is negative. For example, what you would not like in the person. Well, I would not like the person if they were like this, and you name all of your wants and needs and likes, and then everything that you don't want, don't need, don't like, and would hate in the relationships like that. So like once you're writing everything down, you're making perfectly clear on your own standards, your virtues, and what you want and stuff. And from then on, it's literally, I would say, like what you're doing with Georgia Breslin is like literally trying to imagine what would it be like. For example, now you sort of know the person that you have the interest in, either have the interest in or someone that you would like. You might not know the name, but you sort of like have the looks that you like, the character and stuff like that. So once you know the details, you can literally, you're driving a car. What would it feel like if that person was right next to you? What would you two talk about? So literally, you can have your you're just driving to work, and the whole time you are imagining what would it be like if two of us were sitting here. Would we hold hands? What would we talk about? Would we listen to music? And you're literally just going to work, but all the time you're going to work, you're sort of experiencing this whole thing like with you and her or that person, right? And then you go to work. Would that person go there with you? Would you work in the same space? And if you were, for example, just like try to not really manifest, but like just create the reality where you are with that person everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And for me, like that's really amazing, because like you're just like allowing yourself to create this sort of like, let's say, world where you're focusing on everything you want, but at the same time, each place you look at, where you focus on, or what you focus on, is basically you're turning on, this person is with me right here, right now. You're working. Would this person call you on the phone? Would she write to you? What would she write? Like, hey honey, I miss you, I'm making lunch, what would you like for dinner and stuff like that. It's like whatever you want. For example, like working together, and then you're taking your break from work, and like what would you do? Would you call her? Would you go to store, and what kind of stuff would you buy for her? For example, would you like a wine? Would you like flowers? Would you like some bread together? Are you gonna eat toast, or like just have cheese and crackers, or like what? And so going back to work, back in the car, like you're together, you're literally going to take a shower, and literally think about having the shower with that person. And so what you just end up doing is your whole reality right now, you're by yourself and you're doing stuff, but this whole time you're spending into, I'm with this person. And you're shifting that in the havingness. Right now, you have this person and you're doing all of these things. So now you're taking a shower, you're eating together, you're sleeping together, you're doing everything else. And so like the way you see your perfect relationship, how you would like things to be, you're literally absolutely everywhere. You're just like, you're getting yourself some water or something, maybe you're drinking coffee and stuff, and you're like, hey honey, would you like some coffee? And literally like you either act it out if you can. For example, like if you're alone in the house or in the place, you literally can say it out loud and try acting it out. But if you're like, oh shit, like I'm at work and I can't really do it, play it out in your mind. In your mind, simply think how would it feel like and stuff. And literally, you're starting to shift the focus and shifting your vibration to the point where this person is here with you all the time, and you're every single day creating this from A to Z. From the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep, you add that person to part of your life. But now, since you're playing it out, you literally are attracting that person, and she's gonna walk right into you, and she's gonna say hi. And you might end up talking, you might end up doing stuff together, and next thing you know, that person is here. Literally, it might seem childish or more like, hey, you're just dreaming it up. but your whole focus goes into living your perfect life or living life in a way that you would really enjoy it. So even though you do sort of, it might feel like, oh, just imaginary visual stuff. Well, it adds up emotions, like it makes you feel better, it makes your day better, like because you have different experience, because you're focusing on something else, you're focusing on creating perfect relationship and stuff like that. But when that person comes in, it fits everything. And from then on, things might not be perfect, because people who are really good for each other, people who really can affect each other in super good ways and make each other's lives rock and just be the best version of yourself and like support each other in every possible way, that is perfect. But at the same time, these kind of relationships are dangerous because when you two get together, you're gonna rock the world and you can do so much. But you're like two people getting better at the same time, and you get dangerous for some third parties. So they might cause some interferences, and I'm just going sideways with what might happen or what does happen, but like a lot of times people that get together and that have super good relationships, they get attacks just because they're so good with each other, just because, like, for example, you have a great connection and the third party knows, like, if these two keep on going together, if they continue doing what they do, you know, like, you're literally gonna get some attention, and so they might want to attack you. But even through then, like, you like focus, like, okay, if today we had a fight, how would I solve it? And like, you know, basically you create different scenarios, but like this whole time you're creating scenarios, manifesting it, and literally like it takes a lot. For example, you just like you're making yourself some dinner or you're eating your breakfast, and you just imagine what would it be like eating that food with that person, and every single thing you do, you add up that person, and they're gonna come up. They're gonna come. So that would be my question, or probably my answer to the question. But yeah. It's a lot. It's a lot of work, but it definitely like has results. So I feel like the best way is like, you know, like kind of like take it till you make it, but it's on steroids. You're welcome, John West. Yeah, like for me, like manifesting these things, like when I was a kid, I wasn't really thinking about it. I did not know the details of how it's done, but I just did it because it's sort of like it was natural, but it felt good. It simply felt good, like going to school and thinking, what's like being with this person, and literally like every single day doing it, it works. So for me, it worked just because of that. Like I literally was living in that like moment, like just. What if I was in school with that person? What if I was going to do this and this and this? And so like, just like wherever I'm going, whatever I'm doing, I'm adding this person with me. And it makes me feel happier because like I might be here by myself, but in my world, it's like that person's with me, like, yeah, it feels so good. You know, like, and it makes me happy. My life is like still the same, but it's bringing the reality to come to manifest and stuff. So it's definitely a thing. Positive Virtue's asking, can I make some videos about reptilians? Sure thing. They are really cool. TH is saying, love you, Kula, thanks for these talks. Love you back. I'm really glad that all of you just connect. Like, I felt like, you know, like, I'm just gonna stream today, like, just felt like it. And it just feels so good to have you people connect and talk to me and like talk to each other, share your experiences, and I just like really appreciate all of you being here. I'm reading sort of comments of what people are talking it up regarding astral planes and people being programmed, not being able to handle the truth. Great. Demon Nikki is asking, how do you travel back in time while out of body, and specifically to go back in time and observe the environment in areas of your current life as well as past lives? So, for example, in the current life, I just focus on my life and what I experienced. And the best thing to do would be to choose specific incident, specific time. For example, like, okay, the first thing that pops up is like when I was like 1 year old, like 1.5, and literally like I'm just a baby, and I don't know why, just that moment just popped up, and I'm a baby, and my parents had this powder, and they had me up like just powdering up my butt, and I'm like, well, like I was like fully awake then, and like like aware of what's going on and stuff like that. But like thinking about this moment, like I just had a picture pop up because of what you asked. And now, because I have the picture of me as a baby, I'm just focusing on it. Like, okay, this moment when I'm just like a little baby, 1.5 years, and my parents are powdering up my butt, and what does it look like? And so, like, I focus on this whole thing, and I move back into that room. I move back into that moment. Like, I see how my parents look like, the details, the room, the house, the patterns, the bed, the shades, the covers. Like, yeah, it makes me happy. Because there's a lot of memories there of what happened, like specifically in that apartment and the whole life. And yeah, so I think like the best way to do is like if you want to, let's say, out of body and trying to recall the memories and stuff, or like just like to see what happened. So you're focusing where it is your life, you're focusing on yourself in specific moment in life, like maybe like pre-birth, what happened when you were born, or any kind of moment you want. So you basically focus on that one time or like something specific. And then you go to the very beginning, like move to the beginning of the incident when this happened. And like you might just like might focus on your parents powering up your butt or something else, but you're focusing in the beginning where it happens. And then, okay, like how long does it last? Like what's the duration of this incident? How long are they powering up your butt or something else? And so for you it might be completely different and stuff like that, but you're just like looking, where does it start, like where's the beginning, how long does it last, and where does it end, and what happens, like what happens through it. And so once you're running the incident a few times of like just like surroundings the event, like what's going on. And once you're running, you're focusing on the details of what's going on in the environment, what are people talking about, but you're bringing your attention to like, okay, this is the beginning, so you're not going to launch off to somewhere else and do something like look around and like different events and different like memories, but you're going to like latch on to one thing. And from then on, you need to find the beginning, how long does it last, and the ending. Once you have the beginning and the ending, you can run through this like when it begins, everything that happens until it ends. For example, it ends in about like 15 minutes when my parents leave the room, right? And so just like, this is the duration, and now you're focusing on it, and you're bringing your attention, and you might see the image, but you literally pop up, and boom, you are in that room, you are in the environment, you're seeing, like, you hear what they talk about, you hear their voice, the music in the background, for example. And once you're running through it, you might scan for like specific decisions made, the emotions, what you're feeling like and stuff like that, earlier beginnings, and like the specific part is just like find what is it that you want to focus on, then find the beginning, duration, the ending, and what is it that you want to do with it. And from then on, you like would be your, like, for example, just like focusing on this life, but then okay, my past lives. And when you're focusing on your past lives, you're like, okay, what is it I want to find and stuff like that. And when we're like looking at the past lives, it's like, again, a bit too broad, a bit too all over the place. So we have to zero in. Is it going to be your birthday? Is it when you met Charlie or something else? And when you focus on these things, you're starting like, okay, like again, specific incident, what you're looking for exactly. The feeling states, the emotions, the time you got hit in the head or something like that. Once you have the idea, again, okay, so like focus on the incident when Charlie kissed you, or like maybe when like you found the slab, or maybe like when you had your birthday in your past life, for example. So you're like just going through different stages, and from then on you find the incident, you look for the beginning, how long does it last, the ending, and all throughout the stuff. And so you can like actually just focus on the details. You ask yourself a question, give yourself a command, you focus your attention. And that's the thing about, like, let's say like recalling past lives, is that you need either someone to guide you, or you need to guide yourself. You need to give yourself like, find this, do that, because the consciousness is like a puppy, you know. It needs someone like, you know, like it needs a, hey, do this, like sit, stand, roll. And so for you, like, you know, like you focus, and your consciousness will pick up a target, latch onto it, like hold on really tight, and now your attention goes there, and now you can perceive stuff. So I was thinking, like, once you get out of body, you can do these things, but even like while being fully awake, just giving yourself a command, you might see some imagery and stuff, like depends. But if you are to get out of body, literally just like give yourself specific thing you want to address, the beginning, the duration, the ending, and what you want to find all over the place. So yeah, and we have Garden of Eden saying night night. So yeah, you sleep well. Thank you for tuning in. And also we have Power Otsu28 giving us $8. Thank you, I appreciate it. John West also with $2. All questions answered for today. Appreciate it, buddy. So yeah, hopefully Demon Nikki answers your question regarding locating past lives and like seeing it. And it really works. Monica is saying you appreciate Villa. Means a lot to me, Monica. Thank you. Okay, so like I'm scrolling down to the comments and looking for the questions I can answer. J1 is asking a good question. Are emotions just limited to the body, or do they belong to the soul? Emotions belong to the soul. You literally can get rid of this body and go through all the multiverse, and there are times where you're just the point of view and you still have feelings. You don't need to have the body or a shape. You don't need to be a human, reptilian, or someone else to feel something. You can literally just be a point of view and feel things. So yeah, the emotions belong to the soul, the consciousness, and it's not more of a body thing. Daniel Bailey is saying, like, still waiting patiently for my free session. Hint, hint. Yeah, buddy, I got you on the list. I'm actually getting most of the work done, which is good, and it's gonna be soon. Like when I like finally most of the stuff like is done. So like I'm getting there. Nicholas Martinez is asking, how do evil spirits make their vulnerable victims seem to have super physical strength while they're being possessed? Is it because of their demonic form, or they have a lot of energy form? The way I see it, when people, let's say, get possessed by some spirits or like some demons and stuff like that, like, why do they seem to have superhuman strength and like do different stuff? So when people are living like our life right now, we're focusing on what we know about ourselves. Oh, well, I know that, like, okay, I'm a girl, and girls are not as strong as boys and stuff like that, so, like, you might have some standards from, like, the programming, from the surroundings, from what you have experienced throughout your whole life, from what you know about yourself, like, how, like, are you working out and stuff like that, like, how are you doing with yourself, and you just, like, have what you know about yourself. When you have an entity, a spirit, or someone else possess you, and they have like these intentions to control and stuff like that, and all of a sudden it seems like you become like much stronger. Like, how the hell? How does that happen? So the way I see it is basically we become unconscious of ourselves, and this being is more in control of us. And what we knew about our physical body is being plugged out. So now we are no longer, I'm this human and I'm limited and I only know that much about myself. It's literally, most of us are using only 30, 40, 50% of our brain every single day, but it's not at the 100%. We know that like in situations where there's like life or death, people get this massive rush of adrenaline and they can do superhuman things, or where they lift the car, where they survive things, and it just seems like, how the hell a normal person can do that? But we get into these situations and it seems like your whole body takes up on steroids and like does everything else to survive and like just do what's must to be done. So we're not usually able to access it and do it daily, being fully aware of it. For example, when you look at Wim Hof, he's doing that. You know, like, there are plenty of people trying to become superhuman, where you can actually sort of define laws and like what we know, and literally go deep within to know yourself, know yourself, know how you work, know what you're capable of and stuff like that. And with that, each and every one of us, we sort of like do and act on what we know. When we have an entity or spirit or some demonic being possess us and mess with us, they literally are in control. And while we ourselves might not access our full potential, they can. So they can access our whole brain for like 100% and control us and do different things, because they're not affected by the case. You and I and everyone else, most people have been fucked with by life, you know. You might have lost people you love, you might have had tons of stops, you might feel like, you know, like you're homeless, you don't have this and this and this, and we have gone through so much stuff that we're sort of limited by the programming. Other spirits and beings, they don't have that. They're free from this. So when they take over, for example, they have full access to their full potential, because they don't have the case. They don't have what if or fears or like, oh, I should limit myself, or I should be a human. They don't have standards and programs and stuff. So now they have the full access to their potential, and they're gonna go skyrocket. So, yeah, I think it's part of it. Like, I haven't researched the subject. I have not met people who, let's say, been possessed and portrayed that super physical strength. I have not seen these examples in the physical, like, face to face. But from what you're like asking, and like from what I've seen, let's see, in the videos and stuff, that would be my assumption. So there's that. Okay, so TD Edition is asking, does breathing techniques, Wim Hof, and cold showers help to have more UBEs? Yeah, I've been practicing Wim Hof breathing techniques and taking cold showers for a while now, and I'm definitely seeing some increase. Like, I'm not doing it on stairs where it's the coldest and stuff. I'm still building up, because my body, because of the surgeries and what I've been through in life, it's more sensitive. So I have to really watch it. Like, I really have to wear the socks and do different things, because my body is like super reactive. Like, if I drink cold water, I'm gonna get the throat thing, how it's called. Damn it. Tonsillitis, I guess. I'm gonna Google the word. Damn. No. Anyway, yeah, it's like my tonsils or whatever is there gets really weird, like swells and like just goes crazy with that stuff to the point where swallowing and talking and stuff like that goes really bad. So like I really have to watch it. And for example, bare feet can give me more problems. So like I'm kind of like I have this sensitive body, and I'm building up. Like so like I'm not going right away to the coldest showers or like having the ice baths and different things. Like I'm building up because like I'm allowing my body to adjust slowly, but I'm feeling the effects. So for example, like when I started taking colder showers, and I was like first thing is like physical body reactions. I think it was the hit of the endorphins, like where I like sort of like okay the cold water hits me and I have to like breathe and like just like okay just like dealing with it, and I noticed that my body adjusting. When I was done, I had this big smile on my face, and it's just like, I feel so good. I'm so happy I did. Like, I literally had this massive hit of just like, yeah, this is good. And it's like, it's not the masochistic thing where you're sort of like, just like beating yourself up and you're feeling good about it. But like, I feel like just like the whole body, it's like reacting to it. And like, hey, it's kind of like this natural challenge that you have to deal with. And it's cool. But at the same time, my body started reacting differently, and it's like becoming better adjusting to things, and breathing and consciousness gets to a whole different level. So like once I did start to take more showers and do more breathing techniques, and it's definitely helping me. Like I think like I'm having more out of body experiences, and they definitely like are longer. So like yeah, I think it is part of it. But I can definitely like let's say I could try working like sort of like how to say it. I try to mess myself up to the point where I watch movies and like I try to do everything I can to block my abilities to get out of body, and then once it's blocked, I'm like, okay, I can't have OBE. Now I have to do certain things to get out again, and so like I try to like always practice with back to the normal person who can't get out of body, and then what do they have to do to get out? And so like that could be actually a good test. So for example, to mess myself up to the point where I can't get out of body, and then do just Wim Hof and see how that, like Wim Hof breathing, taking cold showers and different things, and see how that would increase OBEs and stuff. That would definitely be a good research project. So like I'm glad you're mentioning it, and like it's totally worth looking into. But yeah, whether you're using it for OBEs or not, it's definitely a good thing to do for yourself, just like for your physical health. Lewis is saying, I feel I'm always attacked if I have a strong connection. I can't have a girlfriend for 15 years and more than that. It's definitely a thing. Yeah. Some people, once they get in a relationship, for them, the love, the connection, the care is just makes them bloom as a being. Like literally, if you have someone to care for you, if you're in a relationship, you're gonna feel good, you're gonna grow as a person, and some people get tons of benefits from relationships. Like it's totally fine to be, let's say, alone, and you can grow as a person and just be the best version of yourself. But some people also like they're better in a relationship. And so for you, Lewis, for example, literally like being in relationships, if they're good ones for you, if you really have like, hey, you have a strong connection, you're feeling like you're happy, you don't worry anymore, you like are doing better and better every single day, it's good. But at the same time, there are third parties that know if you two get together. In past lives, you two might have been together and you caused a lot of problems. You might have like pissed off some big beings, you might have prevented wars, you might have like stopped big groups that wanted to dominate and control and stuff like that. So they know like if you two get together, it's a really bad thing for some beings, and they know that they better watch out. Like if they don't stop you in life in certain areas where you can like actually like get a good life, but whenever it comes to relationships, they're gonna stop you because they know that like if you get a relationship, if it's someone you can connect with and get like a really good connection, you're a target because you are a threat. You get strong, you can do things, and who knows? Maybe if you get in a relationship, you get all of your needs sort of like met to the point where you can start affecting lots of people around you, and you can impact tons of people, and all of a sudden they get better because of you. And so like it's a massive chain. It's really like a big chain. So there might be third parties affecting you. There's also cases where it happens a lot. For example, you are interested in having another, like, let's say, boyfriend, girlfriend, and stuff like that. So with different people, it's gonna have different like options and stuff. But you want to find a girl. Some people want to find a boy and stuff like that. Like, depends. So you're looking for that person. You're trying to connect, and because you had a relationship in the past life, and you know how people, let's say, they get married and they like do these like promises or different things, like, you know, like until death sets us apart or stuff like that, and, you know, different sort of like agreements, commands, and stuff like that. We agree to those things, and these things carry over. For example, another part of you, like, together forever, like, we're such a good match, and then you're done with that life, and then you move on. But that person doesn't. That person still like still thinks that, hey, you belong to me, you're mine, and they see you trying to get someone here, like someone else in this life, and they're like, ain't gonna happen. I ain't gonna allow you to have anyone. And literally, that person will try to push everyone away from you and not allow you to have anyone in your life because you, at some point in your past life, made an agreement with that person, and now it's kind of like this part of like jealousy, part of controlling, like, you know, like, you ain't gonna have anyone but me, and they're literally gonna affect you in that way. So there might be these cases. Like, it's really good to be aware of, like, how are you dealing with relationships, where do you start getting issues, what happens specifically. Once you start paying attention, you can sort of notice if it's like limitations, agreements, other parties controlling, and stuff like that. So it's good to pay attention. So just mentioning that. Sadie's saying, I saw a guy on YouTube, I believe it was it was that sits in the tube of ice water. Kind of crazy. Yeah. People who are into Wim Hof, they take ice baths. Like, there's a Facebook group of Wim Hof, and there's plenty of people doing, like, going to swim like in icy waters, or like you just find them in this barrel of ice, you know, sort of like this. It's pretty cool. It's pretty cool that, like, they can actually handle it, and I sort of want to get there, get my body to, like, hey, to go, like, on the winter when the lakes are frozen and stuff like that, and actually just, like, get into this water. I think it would be cool to do it, like, for myself. It's not like to show off, but more like just to challenge and overcome some of the humanly things, you know, like, just like, oh shit, it's cold like that, like, yeah, fuck it. Like, I remember, like, when I was a kid, just playing around outside, and, like, you know, like, it's actually, like, I was, like, what, 20, 25, it was basically, like, minus 20 Celsius, so in Fahrenheit, that would be, like, minus 4 Fahrenheit, and I'm just a kid running around, like, with a shirt, like, I just, like, took off my, you know, like, big-ass clothes, like, jacket, like, yeah, just, like, running around, like, this is fun. So same person that has issues with health and, like, really has to be attentive to stuff, like, hey, they're just having fun. So that's pretty cool. TD Edition is asking, are twin flames real, and if yes, should we really look for them? I sort of, like, answered this before in the past stream, and I'm gonna upload the videos, but to sort of, like, say it again. Twin flames are real, but at the same time, the way I see it, and I might be completely wrong, but, like, this is just my opinion, the way I've seen it from my experience. Twin flames soulmates, all these things. It's just basically just another being that you have been with a bit longer than usual. You have had tons of different lifetimes where you might be two lovers, father and son, father and daughter, mother and boy, like a son and stuff like that. Like, so like tons of variations of what the relationship can be. Just friends and grunts and buddies and like co-workers, anything, So like from this on, like like these relationships with people, like twin flames and stuff, it builds up. It has a lot of charge because of what everything we've been through, and at the same time, we live for long times and like we go to different like lifetimes, but it's not every single time wherever we go we're gonna go together and we're gonna go all do all these things. But you literally like, okay, this time like lifetime we go here, 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 and you go to different places and you experience different things. But then you two might take a break, just go separate ways, and then come back together and stuff like that. So when that happens, it's like, yay, we have stronger connection from all of beings in the world or like in the multiverse. We know each other better, we have more connection, and so like you feel like more connected, more similar. When you come here on Earth, you've already been with that person, with that being, for millions of lifetimes, because we live for freaking long, So like all these connections, it's just someone else that you know a bit better. Twin flames, the way I see it, isn't just like one person throughout your whole existence. You can have 20, 50, hundreds and millions of them, really. It's just like who you're spending time with, who you feel more familiar with. So when you come here, for example, on Earth, and you're looking for your twin flames, for someone that like you really have strong connection with, you're literally looking for a being that you know for a longer period of time, that you have more connection with, that you can trust and stuff like that. And everyone has them. Everyone has that kind of being they've been with, right? It's just that like twin flame is just another label for the relationship, but like I don't see like more like, oh, it's destined to be together no matter what and like stuff like that. Like it's more like the relationship comes in various ways. You can be like just come here in life and teach you, or just to connect, to help you deal with one issue or like with one problem in life and just move on. So it doesn't mean that if you meet your twin flame, it's gonna be like a loving relationship and together forever, and it's like, perfect, like it might happen, which is cool. But at the same time, like like some people just like, hey, we met, like how can I help you? And they help you out with one thing or two, and you grow as a person, you take care, and like all of a sudden, okay, done my stuff, bye, now I'm gonna do my own thing. So like really depends on different interests, what they go through. But it's nothing too, I don't know, like nothing too special. It's easy for me to say, like, because I actually met plenty of these beings, like twin flames and stuff. It's actually just someone super close to you, just someone you know and trust. So they're real, but twin flame, soulmates and all of these things are just labels for a relationship for someone that you know a bit better. So that would be my take on it. Like, it's definitely real. You can look for it, but don't put all of your hopes that if you're gonna find a twin flame, it's gonna be your perfect relationship, it's gonna last forever. Because some people come here to just allow you or help you to grow, and then they leave, and they have their own interests. It's basically two beings who are interested in helping to be the best version of each other. And that's it. And they might love each other, they might help each other, but they have their own wants and needs in life and stuff like that. So like the way they come into your life, you have to learn how, like, let's say you connect with them, but you have to understand that they too have their own lives. You're not the only one for them. They might have tons of different relationships out there, and once you're done, they have tons of different aspects out there in the multiverse that will, have connections. And like, for example, you meet someone in this life, and you're like together forever, you feel connections, and you're like, hey, can I be with you forever in other lifetimes? And the other person like, about that. About it, because you have tons of aspects of yourself out there, and all of these aspects have different lives, and that person will have different aspects of themselves, and literally we get attached to the looks here, to the character traits, to like, oh, like this is kind of the being I like, right? So when we're done, when the physical body drops dead, whether you go first or he or she goes first, right? They're done, you're done. You can literally either go and like look for their other aspect, like like, oh, okay, this is the being I love, or like we're really connected, and they don't necessarily have to look the same way when I go, but I know what the energy feels like, I know the feeling stays. And you focus on someone and like focus on specifically like this being, but any of their aspects, let's say Freed would like to connect with me, and you find just one of their aspects and you're together this time. And that person has the freedom to, like, okay, one of their aspects will have a relationship with you, but at the same time, tons of different aspects will have different lives, different experiences, different relationships, and different things like that. So, like, it's one of the things people here would have to learn to accept, because, like, most are like, oh shit, you're not faithful to me, you don't love me enough if you're like this and stuff like that. So, like, people, like, it's a bit like toxic behavior when, if you're not doing this, then you don't love me, or like, like, it's like trying to blackmail you, like it's like trying to use the emotions and like to become the victim and stuff like that. So basically, like, coming back to the subject, twin flames, definitely a real deal, but just understand it as another relationship that's really strong and not just a label. So there's that. TD Edition is saying the more I become spiritual is the more my feminine side gets stronger. I don't know if it's right for a guy. I would say it's totally okay, just because we live in a world where the more we learn, the more we're trying to adjust to what's going on. And while some people, let's say, the more material world, you just like try to have to survive and stuff. But for example, you tune into the spiritual stuff, and it doesn't mean that you're gonna become girlish and everything else. It's just like, no, you just connect to your feelings, your true states. The whole thing with like sex, male, female, and stuff, it's a label and a look. Literally, there are plenty of worlds and races where you can have a male version, and they're not acting, how to say, like too feminine-ish, but they will give you love and kindness and attention, and they will have it part of them. And it's totally fine, it's accepted, it's normal. It's just like people connect to who they are, to their feelings, and it's okay to do that and be that. But others can't confront it. So while you might feel connection to the feminine side, others, for example, there will be like females or like like women who, let's say, the more they connect to spiritual stuff and all, they find their like more masculine aspect, and it's basically just keeping the balance. You have your masculine part, you have your feminine part, and each one, like, as you grow, they will adjust, and you will sort of like keep the balance. So like it's totally fine. Like, I would say, like, don't worry about it. Like, but then again, it's like it's your life. I'm just glad you're connecting to those parts of yourself and just like are able to feel more, experience more, and that's totally good. Monica Heath is saying, Aquila, I have one question, please ponder on. Nothing is by mistake. When I come upon information but I read years ago of a being who was born with power but didn't have any skills, your thoughts? It can totally happen. A lot of times we have lots of past lives where, like we're taking on massive roles. We're either healers or fighters, or we're into knowledge and helping others, and there's like tons of aspects of what we've been through, what we have done, and everything else. We come here on Earth and we have powers to change and impact and like do a lot. But there are third parties down, like this being right here is really powerful. If this being had full control of their life and was able to do everything they want to do, they would be freaking dangerous. Because people like you, people who have power, they can impact others, they can give love, they can give understanding, and people will start connecting, people will start uniting, and that's not good. The dark side needs chaos and aggression and just like all of this. Like, people should be divided, and that's their way. So being born with power but not having any skills, it's a common scenario where a lot of people either get birth bumped or literally they have agreements that control their life where they have powers, but they can't really use it because they have tons of blocks. So people are able to undo these blocks, to get rid of them, and to finally get in touch with their skills. But it's a process. It's literally like, the more powerful you are, the more you are targeted. The more influence you can have on Earth, on people here, the more target you're gonna get, because you're seen as a threat. You're seen as someone who can make this massive impact, and they don't like that. So you can definitely have powers and, you know, skills and like how you use things. You know, like it can definitely be affected. Marcelo MC is asking, what is the best way to heal the body from the chronic pain? Marcelo, my recommendation would be to look into Dr. Robert Morse. He has lots of information. He will explain the lymphatic system and everything else, how your body works. But literally, like, people come to him with tumor, with cancer, with all kinds of sicknesses and stuff, and he will explain why you're feeling what you're feeling and what you can do about it by simply adjusting your diet. Literally, like how you can fix everything with the way you're working with your body. So I would like to suggest that you can look into Dr. Robert Morse. I can pull up his website if any of you want to look into, or like website, or like let's see, can we pull it up? There's this amazing guy, Dr. Robert Morse. Yeah, there we go. Alright. So, let's see. I'm sort of just like adding up the windows. There we go. Yeah. Dr. Robert Morse, so you can look up Dr. Robert Morse. This is his name. And he has his YouTube channel, so you can definitely find his information and videos, and man, he has tons of videos. Is it his channel? No, that's good thinking. Let's see. And he's the guy, like he was saying that, like, let's say if you eat just oranges, like he literally was eating oranges for months, and just oranges, nothing else. And his vibration was so high that he could not stay in the body. So literally, like, oranges do help. But you can look it up. Like he has his own website with things you can look into. Medicine articles and pregnancy and like so yeah. Albert Morris, chronic pain. So, and just look it up. Lupus, Lyme diseases, fibromyalgia, addictions, stuff like that. So, yeah, you can definitely find lots of info. I'm not sure, like, I think he had a different channel. I might look it up soon, but just saying, definitely, like, give him your time and attention. He's definitely worth it. Dr. Robert Morse. Let's see. Yeah. Monica is asking, do you think it's against universal laws to resurrect old DNA for power and codes? DNA would reveal to the being it was folded thought. Yeah. Regarding universal laws and like you're just basically getting your old DNA and powers back, it's totally a thing and you should do it. It is not against universal laws, but it's against the third parties that do not want you to have those powers and the knowledge. For example, let's say Enlil and they're like other beings who want to limit you, who want you to suffer, who want you to not do so good, to not be able to get out of body and stuff like that. They are really happy when you cannot do good in life, and they're trying to fuck you up in every single way, right? And so if you can resurrect your old DNA and like take care of yourself, it's good, and you should totally go for it. But at the same time, you should be aware that if you're gonna work on yourself, no matter what you do, you might get attacked. You might get attacked. You might get like like, hey, this person is trying to get better. Stop him. So every time, like, let's say a person is trying to get out of body, you're getting attention. Every time you're trying to get better in life, you're getting attention from other beings, because your whole life you've been suffering, you've been doing not so good, and they know that the more limited you are, the more loot they get from you, the more they're joyful, the more like it's easier to deal with other things. But once you start getting your powers back, your memories back, you're activating your old abilities and stuff like that, now you're getting in the way. Now you're becoming a threat, and they have to stop you before it's too late. So being aware that, like, okay, I'm gonna work on myself, but you're also aware that, like, hey, I'm gonna work on myself and I might get targeted, but I'm gonna beat everything and I'm gonna do what I want to do. So yeah, like like what Frank was saying, that the universal laws are a lie. There's some that are true, not all. Like, again, Franco, it's generalities. Damn, universal laws are a lie. It's generality because you're talking about absolutely everything, but there are those that like to stop you. But there are those that are definitely true, and like it's definitely gets in the way. It's like I'm slowly scrolling down and also like watching the clock. Franco Fabio is saying, I honestly don't care. Good for you, buddy. Enjoy yourself. Sage is asking, have you ever considered doing channeling? Have you ever heard of Ivan Teller on YouTube, and any thoughts about channeling beings and aliens? Yeah, regarding the channeling, I sort of like back off from that just because I know like it's so easy to get information, and it might be good, but there will be things that sort of might be just like fake information and they're trying to feed you. So like, I don't want to do channeling because there are plenty of beings who I might meet, and like, let's say they give me good info, but there might be some lies, and if I'm sharing something, I know that it has to be true or legit, or at least I know for myself. And whatever I might get, I want to double check it. I want to know like how it works and stuff like that. I want to know like things inside out. And so channeling, while it might come and like, hey, you're getting lots of things, you're learning things, you're getting knowledge, you're getting better and stuff, there are beings that will like to use you, and there are people who literally like get a lot of access, and at the same time they get taken over and they go crazy, or they lose themselves, and now there's like tons of beings coming in and out constantly giving things, but it's like one stuff is really good, another one is like really like it's not gonna work, and they like are not working with each other, so like it happens. So like I personally am avoiding it. If I want to do some channeling, it's literally like I'm gonna connect to my other aspects. I'm gonna see what another part of me has experienced in their lives, and I'm gonna like, okay, so now I get the knowledge from my own life, from my own experience, I'm gonna bring it back here, share it here, and like point of view. So there's that. And regarding Ivan Teller, no, I haven't seen anything on YouTube regarding that. Didi's asking, you had a video about empowering a crystal to help your cat. Would you mind going over whatever technique you used? Yeah. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna take a minute to bring the crystal, and then we can totally do the technique and go from there. Just give me a minute. I'm gonna leave you with a little be right back music, and then I'm gonna come back and we can have fun together. Alright, and we're back. Okay, so coming back to the question regarding video about the crystal, like how to clean the crystal and how to make it work for your cats or whatever. So here's a quick crystal. I had this person, Michael, send it to me. It's amazing, like it's a massive crystal, right? And I have two of these. It's crazy good, and it's like, yeah. So basically, I think that the person who was working with IBM, just computers and stuff, let's see if I can find him. Might not find the name right now, but there's this person that was connected to IBM and computers and whole programming and stuff, and he learned that you can actually program and save data in the crystals, and there's a lot of things explained. Like I might pull out the information in like the future videos, but for now, quick and dirty. So you have a crystal, right? And there's a lot of energies and like ways to do it. Lots of ways to do it. So I have one of them. You can find tons of others for yourself, but you might have any crystals. So the way you start is like, okay, you have a crystal, it has some programming or some like coding and stuff like that. What you do is you clean it off. The way you clean it off is like have an intention to clean, clear, making sure like it's empty, right? So you have intention to clear, and the way you clear it is once you breathe out, with your breath going out, you have intention to clear. So now in my mind I have intention the word clear, and the way I breathe out is like my energy clears the whole crystal. And I might do it a few times, like just intention to clear the crystal from any programming, any coding, and it might have just like clear. So basically I blow out the air and it clears the crystal. Now that it's clean and it does not have any programming or anything, okay, what do you want to do with the crystal? Some people use it for getting better, for like, let's say getting energies. They might have chronic pains, they might not feel too good, they might like, hey, my cat is not doing good, my pet is not doing good, like my dog and stuff. So you have the crystal, and what you do is like literally you put the intention, and again you're like thinking like, what do you want to program in this? Simply focus on one subject. Is best if it has like solo subject, as in like for example, like giving you more energy, or you know, the sand and stuff. Like the whole crystal will have sort of like opening up your meridian points, or like, you know, like helping your lymphatic system, recovering like your energy, clearing out the headaches, whatever you program and stuff. So again, you're programming of your intentions, what you want exactly from it. And again, as you program, you're like, you breathe out with the intention, and now it's like, okay, I have this. So you can literally program getting out of body. This thing will help me to like recall my memories. This thing will help me to just basically put a portal and just like shoot me out, and I'm gonna be in space far away from Earth, and just like, hey, I'm free and stuff. Or let's say the cat, like for example, oh shit, my cat's not doing too good. So you like put intention in the crystal that like this thing will help you and like basically give energy, heal anything in the body. Like you are the controller, you are the programmer, you put the intentions, you program this thing. Once you're done, it's like, okay, now the crystal is programmed with either giving you energy, either giving you like more like helping you with memories, like shooting you out, beaming you out in the multiverse, and like getting out of body and stuff like that. Like you are in control of how you want to use it. And basically this like sharp end is the one that has like the energy going in, and so you basically just like point in and like, okay, so if I have an ache anywhere or stuff like that, later on, so you just point the send and then keep it close to yourself. You can just literally leave it under the pillow, or simply just like hold it in your pocket or something. Or like if you have, let's say, throat ache, you're just gonna hold it here and just like put intention, like, okay, clear this, like let's say your throat, like for example, just like help you heal, help you feel better. Once you're done with the thing and you're gonna do something else again, breathe out with the intention to clear. It's done. So there's that. Didi is asking, is there a reason you breathe through your nose only? So I would have to look up the guy. He is connected to IBM, but literally he was the one that found out that the crystals can be coded, and like there's a lot of research behind it, like scientific stuff, which is like for some people that need it and stuff. But the person that had to do with IBM has lots of connections, lots of information regarding it. So I would have to pull it out. Like right now, quick and dirty, I was like sort of like, oh yeah, I heard this, like remember, like blah, like so I just did it. But we can look it up. We can definitely look it up. Like let's see, can we? Yo. So I'm just gonna see if I can get stuff. But yeah. Does it connect to the yogic breath or meridians? I guess, like pranic breathing. I have not done that much research to like tell you, yeah, this is exactly how it works and why and like all the details. Like for me, crystals, I've used it only a few times. Like for my cat, and like I'm just like, hey, you need a crystal? There you go. It's like I'm more counting on myself. I'm not that much of a crystal person, but like from time to time, to just like get energy and stuff like that, or like while doing meditations, it is helpful. But to tell you regarding the breathing and meridians and stuff like that, like I just can't, like I don't have information on that. Like I'm not the user, like I'm not using it that much. Like, hey, this is how it works and all the details. Really. Not me. I'm not selling that shit. I might look up the person, because like there's a lot of research behind this and explained. Okay. Yeah. So Marcel Vogel is the person. Let's see if I can look it up. Yeah. So I'm gonna bring up the screen. This is the person. This is the person that is connected to crystals and IBM. Let's see. Stuff. I'll have to find more. But basically, yeah, look up this person. Marcelo Vogel, that's the stuff. So yeah, that's your go-to guy. If you want to know about crystals, that's your go-to guy. He's gonna have everything else explained, and please go to him. He has more stuff. And there you go. Using crystals to heal. There's the website. One of the greatest achievements in Marcel's post-rational science career was his invention of Vogel crystals. Marcel experimented with cutting quartz crystals in a scientific manner to amplify their ability to transmit universal life force energy. In their spiritual domains, you might hear his reference to the Chi, Reiki, or Holy Spirit. According to Marcel's strict specifications, a crystal can only be considered a Vogel crystal if the crystal is made from natural quartz. Okay. How to use crystals for repeating healing in one instant at IBM, a college of Breathwork, back pain, skiing. So yeah, like you'd have to go through his research and what he says, but Marcel Vogel is the one. So look him up. So he's your go-to guy. If you want info on crystals, I would say he's the one. There it is. There's my buddy. So yeah, like I just like wrote to Rich because he's the one. He's the, like Rich 2150X is the one that pointed me to Marcel. So Rich is saying that like his scientific work and research is still with us today. In fact, you're viewing this on an LCD monitor. You're enjoying the fruits of Marcel Vogel's scientific explorations. Just a few of his inventions and discoveries still in use today. So LCD devices, monitors, watches, mobile phones is Marcel. Hard drive technology. Damn. Yeah. So you can definitely find like lots of things about him. Check it out. Sea salt with rosemary is said to be good for cleansing the crystal of dark energy, so learn that from the underworld craftsman. Sage, thank you for sharing. I know like some other people, Luke from We Are Changed, Luke Rudowski, I've seen him like, let's say, clear his crystals in the ocean water. Let's say he goes to the ocean and he has a bunch of his crystals and just like clears them off, like, and there might be more details to it, and there are tons of ways to do these things. So like just find what's best for you. Do you know Dan Davidson, author of Shape Power? No. I'm really glad you're pointing me to more people because like I love learning. So that's something to look up as well. So yeah, that would be it. Yeah, like he's awesome, huh? All right, like so Didi, what do you like about Dan Davidson, and any books you can recommend, and why is he awesome? Stuff like that. Great info about geometry of the universe. Okay, that's interesting. I pulled him up on Goodreads and Amazon to check his stuff out. Is it like his books? Shape Power. There's a lot of good reviews on his book. So yeah, people, it's been 2 hours and I still have a few sessions to get today and other things. So I'll be wrapping it up today. And yeah, we can definitely like do more streams. I'm not sure if I'll be live tomorrow, but on the weekend I can definitely do more streams. And if you think of any questions and things you want to ask or talk about, let me know. We'll be live and we'll do more streams coming up. So yeah, thank you all for being here, for watching, for sharing your thoughts, and just enjoying your time. And I'm looking forward to talking to you again. So again, thank you all, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.